Ireland has primarily defeated the Brexit dream, through not joining the UK and leaving, focusing on EU unity and by obtaining support from the US, a trade expert has claimed. Downing Street has warned the UK will not be back to negotiate next year if a trade deal is not secured in the coming days. At the end of the EU summit last week, Prime Minister Boris Johnson urged the UK to start preparing for a no-deal after saying Brussels had not shown sufficient flexibility by his nominal deadline of October 15. His spokesman did not rule out talks ongoing over further weeks, but stressed that the ratification process would take a period of time. He added, "We have been repeatedly clear that any agreement will need to be in place before the end of the transition period. We will not be back to negotiate further next year. We must provide assurance and certainty to our businesses and citizens, and endless prolonged negotiations won't achieve this." Asked if he meant that leaving without a deal would preclude one from being struck next year, he said correct. As the clock ticks down and tensions rise, David Hennig, director of the UK Trade Policy Project at the European Centre for International Political Economy, has delivered a gloomy verdict about the state of the negotiations. Trade deal, and we spend the coming years in a push-pull relationship with the EU over economic alignment. No deal, and we intensify the battles over the future of the UK. Mr. Hennig argued that at the basic level the UK will still have greater freedom outside the EU. However, he noted it will be far from the dream because the US and EU have demands over regulation in trade deals, and transnational business supply chains use their regulations. Laying the blame on Ireland, Mr. Hennig added, "So far Ireland has primarily defeated the Brexit dream. Through not joining the UK and leaving. Through focusing EU unity and obtaining US support. And because it provides a realistic model for Scotland." Joe Biden, the Democrat Party's candidate to be the next U.S. president, has recently weighed into the controversy over the UK's internal market bill. The former U.S. vice president warned of its complications for a future UK-US trade deal, adding to concerns among senior American politicians that changes associated with the bill would undermine the Good Friday Agreement. Mr. Biden wrote on Twitter, "We can't allow the Good Friday Agreement that brought peace to Northern Ireland to become a casualty of Brexit. Any trade deal between the US and UK must be contingent upon respect for the agreement and preventing the return of a hard border. Period."